Hi, Red Shirt here. The cops cannot be reformed. How long have we been trying to reform the police, trying to stop them from brutalizing people, especially non-whites and especially working class people? Forever, for as long for as long as I can remember, and going back into the 30s, and going back into the 1800s. And this is true in every capitalist country, by the way. So, mainly I'm talking about the United States, but I include the whole capitalist world. So we have to look at the cops and what is their function? Why are they here? Why are they doing what they're doing? Well, they have two main jobs. The cops have two main jobs. The first job is to protect private property, especially the private property of the billionaires and the multimillionaires that own this country. Plutocrats, the capitalist class, the elitists, the super wealthy, whatever you want to call them. Their private property comes first. Second, to terrorize the working class. Of course, the working class majority. We have to be kept in terror. We have to be kept subdued, frightened, so that we won't rise up. And they hate protests. You saw what has happened recently with protests. They declare curfews, not for looting, to stop protests, to calm it all down. And they say, oh, we're for First Amendment rights. No, they're not. That's a lie. It's a big fat lie. They want to stop protests. All governments want to stop protests against themselves, don't they? I mean, that's just logical, right? So don't expect that you're going to reform the cops anywhere. It's not going to happen. However, we must demand that all killer cops get jail time. And the people standing in the way are the mayors and the district attorneys and the governors of states and cities and counties that refuse to prosecute their cops. They have to be pressured. In fact, frankly, I think they should go to jail. Two, because the buck stops somewhere, right? It's got to stop somewhere. It stops at the top. The people at the top determine what happens below, and the mayors hire these cops and fire these cops, and the DAs refuse to send them to jail. So they have to be pressured constantly. But that's still not going to reform anything. We're not going to have citizen review boards or any kind of softening of police brutality. In fact, it's only going to get worse. What's going to happen is that we're going to develop our own defense organizations. I'm talking about working class defense organizations that take the place of the cops. This is leading up to a socialist revolution. But before then, we will develop our own separate institutions. By we, I'm talking about the working class. The working class will develop our own government, in essence, and it will grow up alongside the current capitalist institutions until finally people stop looking to the capitalist institutions and the capitalist politicians for any kind of leadership or any kind of succor and turn to the working class institutions. And at a certain point, then the revolution becomes automatic. It's like a lateral move. So part of that is going to be defense organizations. So we're looking at workplace defense committees and neighborhood defense committees. These are going to happen. This is my forecast. This is what I forecast for the United States and everywhere else in the capitalist world. Now, the socialist way of constituting a committee is, of course, democratic, because that's in our genes. We are naturally democratic. It will be all-inclusive. For example, a defense committee will be all-inclusive and a full discussion on every issue and majority vote, of course. Majority rules in a democracy, which is not the way we do it in capitalist society, of course. It's very anti-elitist. The workers will form workplace committees, defense committees, to defense against attacks on themselves and their workplaces, of course. This includes defending, if they work for small business, then defending that small business and defending that small business person, that small business owner, because they are our natural allies and they have the jobs that we need as well. So we're going to be defending them against gangs, right-wing gangs, fascist gangs, cop attacks, looters, course, there's nothing to do with revolution. Looting has nothing to do with revolution. And it will be based on unions. Unions will be forming these workplace defense committees, and business districts will be uniting. A whole street will unite to defend everybody. So solidarity is our main weapon, and an attack on one is an attack on all. That's how we organize ourselves. Neighborhoods will also need to defend themselves against rightist attacks, against cops, cop brutality, and again, that will be democratic, all-inclusive, full discussion on every issue, and majority vote. And this, of course, is how the world will be run after a socialist revolution. Now, one word about looting. Okay, law breaking does not help anything at all. It does not help the working class. It actually sets us back. Okay, because it actually takes the focus off of the movement and paints protesters as rioters, which is exactly what the ruling class wants. And that's why cops will infiltrate organizations like Antifa, it actually is an organization, or just pose as protesters and then go off and start breaking windows. And make sure to have the press there so they can film it, and then the cops can come in and beat everybody up, and get rid of this horrible protest, right? So it offers an excuse for the government to stop protesting. It's very destructive. And what we, of course, need is large, organized, peaceful, disciplined, and lively protests. The larger, the better. But discipline is the key. Okay. Also, this looting destroys businesses, small businesses especially, and those are our allies, and we must protect them. We must defend them. It destroys homes. And it's just all around a bad deal. So that's it on cop brutality. Don't expect that you're going to reform the system, because the system needs those cops to be as brutal as they can get away with. And we're going to let them get away with as little as possible. Hey, comrades, this is the part where I ask you to subscribe and to read the Militant News Weekly in print and online. My email address is buildtheunions@gmail.com. So until next time, this is Red Shrt saying, keep fighting, y'all.